Alright, theoretically, you can see my desktop now. And so I loaded up the kitty in Fragmotion. So this is our kitty. I've changed the face quite a lot, and so this is the 3D view in Fragmotion. You can see the skeleton and vertices and etc. So I want to show you the different animations and how they work. So this is the default pose, obviously. This is the run animation. And it just starts running. This is the walk animation. And I had a lot of trouble getting the walk animation to even look halfway decent, so hopefully it's alright. So this is an idle animation. So if you go from default pose to idle, see, that's not actually at the beginning. You can see how it goes from the pose. Actually, that is our stance, I think. Don't actually see root in here, which probably means I have to edit the cat again. Yay, won't that be fun? So he idles, and then he just goes back to that pose. Yeah, root seems to be missing. I'll probably just copy the idle pose and use that. So we have sit idle. So we do have stand to sit. So here's a transitional animation. And so you can see how it goes from standing to sitting. And then after it sits, then it goes into a sit idle animation. So it's like bored and switching its tail. You can see how it flips its tail. And then when it's done sitting, then it goes from sit to stand, which is not cyclic, so it kind of jumps back to the beginning. But that's how the sit to stand animation looks. And then we go from standing to sleeping, so this is a transitional animation. And it just goes down like that. And then the sleep idle is cyclic. And you see it just sort of moves its belly, twitches its tail occasionally while it's sleeping. Sleeps with its eyes open because I don't have a way to close its eyes. The eyes are just textured on. So then we have sleep to stand, and so then it kind of cleans its face and stands up. And then this is the standing idle animation, which would probably, stand idle is probably our root pose, actually. I should probably just rename it. But anyway, so that's stand idle. And there's a death animation. So see, there's no transition needed for that because it starts out in the standing pose. And the pounce animation starts out in this standing pose, so it doesn't need a transition. So it's pouncing on a mouse or something. And then the swim animation is kind of weird looking, but it doesn't really need a like route to swim or whatever. It just starts swimming. And swim idle, I had to make this for somebody else. He needed specifically a swim idle. It's pretty much the same animation twice, it just has a different name. So that's how the transitions work. Sometimes you need a transition, like from standing to sitting, you need the transition because it's changing the pose drastically, and sleeping needs a transition, but walk and run, they don't need transitions.